objective, to be clear, is to get Britain back into the EU, not parts of the EU, to take it completely back in, to reverse Brexit entirely, and to do so as quickly as possible before elections happen in Britain. That for the Europeans, they have two red lines. One is recognition of Crimea, or indeed of any Russian territory, or any Russian-controlled territory. There must be no recognition of them, because that would supposedly destroy the rules-based order that has preserved peace in Europe and all that nonsense. That's one thing they said. The other is that there can be no question of in any way compromising Ukraine's right to join NATO. That is an absolute inviolate thing. Now, so they're not coming up with any peace proposal. They are rejecting the American peace proposal, which at least is based on some of the realities. They want to continue this conflict with Russia in Ukraine. And it's clear, given that Ukraine is losing the war, that they are prepared to sacrifice Ukraine to that end. Now, the question is why? Now, I've come to the conclusion that for the Europeans, for Ursula and her people, for Merz even, it is no longer a question of defeating Russia. It is no longer a question of preserving Ukraine. It is not even about keeping the United States involved in Europe. It is about preserving the European Union. It's all about now the existence of the EU itself, because from a European point of view, what they've come to believe, and I think, by the way, that they are right about this, is that if there is a peace agreement over Ukraine, it will shatter EU unity. Now, that is, for the EU Centre, a critical danger. It is almost an existential risk, because exactly as you said at the start of the programme, they have now built the entire project of EU integration, and, by the way, of bringing Britain back into the EU. They built it around hostility to Russia, hostility to Putin. This
Exactly. You want money for climate change? You got to do it because of Putin. You want money for the military? We got to do it because of Putin. We need a fund for this or that, for infrastructure. Well, we got to do it because of Putin. We want to reverse Brexit. We got to do it because of Putin. Everything now is built around Project Ukraine, even more specifically around Russia. Yes. So Russia is going to serve all of the EU's purposes, all of its slush funds, whatever it needs to do. Censorship, you got to censor because of Putin. Cancel elections, well, we got to cancel elections because of Putin. So Russia is key. Russia is the platform, the policy of the European Union. It's the reason that Europe exists now. Is Russia. Yes. That's it. So